Hello and welcome to my video guide to the Poison Trickster Rogue build. I've left the build planner in the description and I suggest you take a look at that. So I'm going to just explain how this build works and how to utilize the tools that you have. This build is designed around pushing high tier content, giving you as many tools as possible. Smoke bombs, stun grenades, stealth, traps and decoys with high durability and damage. The great thing about this build is you'll perform well against any content and any enemy type, and it requires no gear swapping. What makes this build different to others is the multiple ways you can initiate the fight depending on what enemies you're facing. And not all fights will feel the same, and I'll leave those choices up to you. I'll go over the utility areas of this build first. Frostbitten aspect will allow your grenades to freeze chilled enemies. Penitent grease will apply chill, and surprise aspect will drop grenades when you evade. You'll want to utilize this by evading out of groups or between enemy packs to freeze them in place and let the barber do its work. The Trickery Malignant Heart will drop a decoy whenever you use a subterfuge skill, and you'll have 3 of these. So you can mix and match what skill you want to use to pop this. I suggest using a level 1 or 2 heart for longer duration. You can get these from World Tier 1 and 2. Level 5 heart is only 3.5 seconds, which makes it a lot shorter to be effective. The Infiltrator's aspect will allow you to place multiple traps, which you can use to initiate fights or turn fights back into your favour. Please note, don't always use 4 traps if you can help it. If you can use 3 or less, you'll have your traps ready for next time you use concealment. And if you just place 1 trap, you can get your trap back in 5 seconds, allowing you to use a decoy without wasting a smoke grenade. Shared Misery to spread your days, chill and freeze. Slow on hit gloves to utilise one of the Paragon nodes. Now moving on to the defensive side of things, you'll want plus armor stat on every piece possible, including the amulet. Disobedience on the amulet will get you close to the 13,000 armor cap against level 154 enemies. Damage reduction on injured on the amulet and the pants. This will give you a passive cheat death effect. You'll see in my videos my health drops very low when I'm face tanking enemies, but I will not die. It gives you ample breathing space to retreat, stealth or drink a potion, so I think it's a must-have stat. Health on your rings and chest will allow you to absorb one-shots that you would otherwise die to. Stolen Vigor for passive HP regeneration. Might aspect to keep you durable when you're in the thick of fighting. Offensively, you'll want Condemnation. This is a large boost to your Twisting Blades damage. Due to the haste passive, you'll want to drain your energy below 50% anyway to make use of it, and you'll be alternating between Puncture and Twisting Blades often. Accelerating on the crossbow for more speed, quicker CCs, lucky hits, and energy regen. Okay, the stats that you want to go for is Vulnerable, Critical Strike Damage, Core, and Dex in that order. If you can't go for Dex, you can also go for Close Enemies, which actually boosts your Poison Imbue damage more than Dex does, but Dex boosts your Twisting Blades damage more. Core damage is good for Twisting Blades, but it boosts your Poison Imbuement a lot, which is why there's a lot of core skill damage in this build, as well as Cutthroat damage. Now a quick note on whether you should go for Sword or Daggers in this build. Both have their pros and cons. Swords have better consistent damage, whilst daggers will make your poison imbuement hit harder. And also your initial barber damage will hit harder due to the weapon mastery passive. Apart from barber, the other heart you're going to want is Revenge, which just gives you nice damage reduction. Now onto the skills. Improved Twisting Blades for days. This will let you build up momentum stacks quicker and reliable, as well as give you days that you can spread to other enemies. 3 points in Rabbit Gambit so you can get your evade back quicker for more bombs, and to make sure you have your evade back when you actually need it defensively. Subverting Stealth even though you have Exploit Glyph, because if you open this with Twisting Blades, the Twirling Blades will also apply the 6 seconds run, giving you very good uptime on vulnerability. The Smoke Grenade serves many functions. You can use it defensively, but more importantly you can use it offensively too. If you come across a dangerous elite, I suggest using this at the start to kill them quicker before they go unstoppable. Countering Poison Trap, this will give you a chance to get your imbuement back. So what you want to do is use your imbuement whilst you're in stealth or before you enter stealth and place your traps. This will give you a chance to have 2 more extra charges during the fight. 3 points in innovation will give you enough energies in most scenarios. I didn't take consuming shadows because it doesn't work against elite only groups, which happens quite often, and bosses too. And when it does work, I don't actually need it that much. Haste, because haste is great. Speed when you need it, and attack speed when you need it. Now onto the Paragon Board. It's optimized more towards raw damage than imbued damage, but there are some things that overlap, for example, core skill damage and cutthroat skill damage. I purposefully avoided any conditional bonuses, as after testing multiple dungeons, it suffered way too much when those conditions are not met. For example, damage against frozen enemies or damage against healthy enemies. There are a lot of times when those bonuses don't kick in and I just feel like it's a waste of points. So I've just gone for as much non-conditional damage as possible to balance it all out. The other good thing about this board, you don't need any ore stats to hit the last major breakpoint, only 75 dex, which you can get from a high roll on your one-handed weapon. The rest of the nodes can be unlocked just from the board. The last nodes are not substantial enough to sacrifice stats for. And that about sums it up. Any questions, just leave a comment below and I'll try and get back to you.